Well, Future Generation Australia Investment Portfolio's outperformance has driven an increased fully franked full-year dividend. CEO Caroline Gurney joins me now alongside newly appointed Chief Investment Officer Lee Hopperton. Well, firstly, Caroline, how did you see both the companies' results?
Oh, thank you, Olivia. We were really pleased with the results. I think there's a lot of volatility in the markets, both here in Australia and also globally. So we were really pleased with the fact that we actually outperformed on FGX, which is the Australian Equities Fund, and the fact that we could actually deliver, really good yield and a really good total shareholder return to our shareholders was really good on both of them.
And what do you think underpinned those results?
That's a really good question. I mean, if I could just explain our model very quickly. So our model was set up 10 years ago by Jeff Wilson, who is the CIO and founder of Future Generation, but also Wilson Asset Management. And basically what it is we have two portfolios, one which is Australian equities and one which is global equities, and they are managed by 33 fund managers between them, completely pro bono. So basically it's the best fund managers in Australia and globally that manage our shareholder money, and we have 1.4 billion now. They manage with no management fees and no performance fees. So what that allows us to do is to give 1% of our total net assets to not-for-profits in Australia. So we support Youth at Risk, and that's chaired by Philip Lowe, and Jennifer Westcott chairs FGG, which is really about helping young people in terms of prevention of mental health. So we've given about 90 million now in 10 years to these not-for-profits. And we've saved shareholders, because there's no fees and everybody works pro bono, our service providers, etc. We've saved more than 170 million. So the fact that you can actually do well with these fantastic fund managers and also do good in the community, I think is, it's kind of one of those win-wins that shareholders get to invest with the best and get a really good return. All of our shareholders really like the yield. They want to make sure that the performance is strong, and that's what we really deliver.
Yeah, it seems like it's gaining significant momentum. What do you think draws people to invest?
I think there are many reasons. I think one of the reasons people want to invest with us is because they want to make sure that they have a really good, stable return. They want to make sure they get that yield. A lot of our shareholders are mums and dads, and they want that income coming in. But also, I think everybody wants to give to the community, and they like our structured process. So we have 24 not-for-profits that we give to, and they can vote for each one they would like their 1% to go to. So I think the fact that you have that capital preservation, long-term growth, but also the yield, and doing something, for young Australians is just a really powerful message.
So what would be your outlook going forward?
There's so much volatility out there at the moment. You can see that from reporting season. But I think what we're actually trying to do is make sure that we have, perform with less risk. We want low volatility. So that's what we're trying to do. And we have an investment committee. They're both pro bono. They're sort of the great, there's Jana, there's Zenith, there's Longsec, and they advise how the portfolios should be constructed. And what they're looking for is long-term returns as well as low volatility. So I think personally, I can't give advice, but I do think from our point, we're looking at an outlook which is pretty consistent, and that's what we want to deliver.
And you've announced Lee as your first CIO.
Very excitingly,
so yes. What will this mean for the company?
Growth. I think for us, we're a very small team, and we're incredibly lucky that we have so many people that work pro bono. But I think really articulating that investment message, and also just making sure that with the investment committee that they're armed with all the data they need to make sure that portfolio is constructed in the best possible way. Lee joins us, he's got an incredible track record, Pendle, Perpetual, and obviously Macquarie as an investment banker. So yeah, I think that's a really powerful combination. It's about getting the message out, I think, to more people. But Lee, why did you want to join? Sorry, Olivia.
Yeah, the model's brilliant because it enables investors to get a really sensible, low volatility return, good income, and contribute to charity without foregoing any of that return. So it's a pretty compelling model. So I think, as Caroline said, growing is really important to us because the bigger we get, the more social impact we can have out in the market. And we've got some great opportunities to do that with our fund managers and pro bono partners.
So what would be your goals in the near term since joining?
Yeah, so grow is obviously a key one. The other thing is that we're blessed in Australia with some of the best boutique investment managers, in my opinion, around the world. And many of those are being generous enough to offer us some capacity for free. And that gives us a huge opportunity to grow and also to optimise the returns to shareholders. A lot of great investment managers, a great portfolio, so to optimise that going forward will be good for us, good for social impact partners and good for investors, I think.